that Career can lock in here that will give them bottom side prio. And so what does he do? Does he opt to just sit back and defend with something like a Yuumi? I guess that's the answer.
Yep.
It did not work for him very well last time, but we'll see if this is a different look as the blind Scion comes through.
This team doesn't really have engage. I mean, it's got very nice front to back, but starting a fight will not be up to them.
Ooh, and the Gnar here feels like a cherry on top. It's one of Clear's best picks, even considering the matchup.
Yeah. Thinking for a play here on a Vicla, who just does not flash the shove. Now he's going to flash, but I don't know about that. Jarvan coming over, but way too late. First blood given over to Showmaker.
Yeah, a bit of a great timing there for Lucid to come in with Vicla's positioning. He went ghost, obviously, so this is really going to hurt. Dying like this, can surf back. I don't think he's going to Weaver's well back to lane, but I guess it's an option. But the choice to flash there, I think, is the most painful of all, because Raptor was somewhat nearby and is quite mobile on Jarvan and did have his Cataclysm, so maybe there's a miscommunication. Like, you know, we see Raptor maybe call out, or you can imagine maybe Raptor is calling out, like, I'm relatively nearby, if you can buy just a little bit of time. But as you can see on the minimap here, he's just finishing the Dragon. He is, in fact, quite far away and cannot assist. That last Sand Soldier is going to come up. Diable's like, I would have done the same thing.
280 carries, handshake across the rift. Lucid going to be spotted here. We got a wall coming in. Lucid in a bit of trouble. Kellen here first as well. There's just nowhere for Lucid to go. And the chains going to land here onto the Ezreal. Flash damage comes in from Smash. And now Smash, no flash. He's just dead. Nowhere to go. And you see that Career trying to back, but there's no way they're going to let him go. And the second they got the Ezreal, the Yuumi is always just going to be tacked on. And eventually, Vicla takes him down. So 3 kills go the way of BNK on the bottom side of the map.
Showmaker opts not to TP down. He TPs back to lane and is going to get some plate gold in return here with the Crystalline Overgrowth to proc. It's really just one he gets, though. Talia can get back to lane relatively quickly. And this is on vision. Unfortunately for Lucid, he has a control ward to the right there, so probably thought he was okay, thought he was unseen. Doesn't have flash, unable to get over the wall. And then down here, Kellen flashes forward as well to guarantee the root, which gives the follow-up here for Raptor. And then, as you say, when you get one with the Yuumi, you get two, as Showmaker makes the call to TP mid and try to get something back there, knowing that Vicla's at least spending a decent amount of time down here. But this is a huge win for BNK.
Yeah, it's pretty gigantic.
But may even cost them an additional farm here as they are looking for more.
Oh, the max range chain Smash is dead again! And Career, well, we just said it before, he is absolutely dead. They're just trying to give the kill over to Diable, but the arrow at least misses. And a double kill goes to Raptor. We got a TP coming in, though.
Yeah, this is a very greedy choice. Lucid's coming over as well. I don't know if they get anything from this. It's a bit slow.
Yeah, just a little bit slow. And, well, he's going to ult into the wall. And maybe with the smash on Kellen, they will get him. So they at least get the support. But now Clear wins.
Clear doesn't actually even need to use his TP. He's getting so much gold here. I think it's absolutely not worth it. At least you got something. You know, you have to make something of that situation. But bit of a disaster.
As got the dragon at least.
That dragon will go over, as Raptor, had to go back there. So that makes it a little bit better, and that will tie us up one apiece in terms of dragons, but the execution of this was incredibly risky. If Kellen gets away there, it's even worse. Completed as the AD carry, the less money you're generating from anything, but specifically minions as well, really starts to add up how much you can get as Showmaker looks to shove.
Trying for it. Remember, Diable does not have his flash. Shutdown goes in. Showmaker gets away from the Jarvan for now, but Raptor comes in. Vicla's here as well. Big shove onto the two of them, and Career not able to get on in there onto Lucid, as Lucid going kind of crazy mode right now. Is going to have the cat on his back as well, but eventually does go down. And Career this time will waddle away.
I think it's worth there to get the last kill, and Career gets away this time. So as you mentioned, I think it ends up being fine second time. But going to this play here, it's a great choice to go on to Diable because, as you mentioned, they know he doesn't have flash. Shuffle comes through. But Vicla, actually, look at the angle he takes from the bottom lane. It's one that I don't think Dplus really expected. And the Cataclysm comes through, buys just enough time, and then this shove is phenomenal. Career cannot rejoin for a while. And Lucid's like, all right, well, I'm just going to send it here. Goes for the play, forces Vicla's flash, and then goes in deeper. Career detaches early to get out, so he survives this time around. I think they get very easily as Vicla. No way, right?
Yeah, yes way. Dalia really very much struggling into the Scion, and Shove is going to miss. He gets axed down by Scion. Shia with the solo kill on a Vicla. And that's whoopsie number 2, Wolf.
There's a big chance erupting.
Lucid is here, though, and they do want to fight this, actually, kind of. As Showmaker's not here, this is going to be secured by Raptor, and Lucid, he's going to be walked into the pit. Now he doesn't have his flash. We got TP coming in, as DK are like, who cares about item spikes? We want to fight right now. And they don't even have a jungler anymore. Lucid about to go down. There he goes. As Smash as well being slowed up. There's the big ult into the wall. Catches 2 and make it 3 with the Yuumi. They take down Smash. And that's about all they're going to get as DK just waddle away as well.
There's been so much of this game that has been played by Dplus, almost as if, you know, it's the Wadid principle, you know, playing not to lose, like, or playing really like as if you have already lost. In committing to this fight, going for the Hail Marys, another Hail Mary in a series of
Didn't have
them.
to do that.
And like, in this fight, in this scenario, you don't have any control. You have to know that the Gnar has TP. He's going to be able to join at a moment's notice. Both top laners waiting for the judgment call, right, as the TPs come through. The positioning of the TP here for Shiu isn't even really favorable. Clear has Mega Gnar. He's charged it at the correct time. And Dplus committing to this fight, you're locked in. Like, there's a Talia there. The Gnar bar is still set. He ends up having a massive Gnar as they go over the wall here. And the Yuumi shielding is not enough to win you this fight. You don't have the skirmishing power here anymore. And I think they thought they were at a closer game state than they were, hoping that maybe the Varus wasn't going to be able to do enough long-term damage and that then the Ezreal would carry. But the Ezreal doesn't have 2 items, like you said. And that was a bit of a flop for Dplus. It might have cost them the end of this game. Like, there was still an in, but now there's not.
Absolutely does feel that way, Wolf, as they're trying to punish Clear here. Might just be able to. No flash on him, and that will be a kill. A shutdown going over to Showmaker. We got a big push in mid, though, as BNK looking to get a bunch back. They're also going to get some turret plates in top lane and really try to solidify this lead.
Yeah, it's a kill. That's the win that you're getting. It's a kill for no kills, but in terms of the gold, not really being the win I think Dplus were hoping for. Plus, that was Showmaker committing his teleport for it because there's no pressure anywhere else. Vicla can get that plate there topside and then back to defend this turret. If Showmaker got the kill with this TP gank and they were able to get the whole turret, you'd feel a little bit differently about this. As this is just really aggressive play from Lucid, and I think he's the one who makes the call to Showmaker, like, I think we can actually kill this guy. His Gnar is fading, and they do get the kill, but they can't really get much else here as they are looking for Soul Point, and I just don't think Dplus should be anywhere near this.
Nice dodging here from Lucid as Vicla, once again, he is putting his face in it, has to flash away. We got a Scion going in. Kellen's just going to flash out of the way, and that means that Vicla and Diable are in big trouble as the Scion is behind them. They do take down Lucid, though, and now the Scion alone is not able to do too much. Smash being bullied in the front line, gets taken out, and the damage and the wallets are too big for the side of BNK. Bait them into the fight, as Vicla says, I got him this time.
The draft here for Dplus certainly had its ins. It certainly had the ability to scale and maybe smash the 1v9 angle. That dream could have been real if they didn't fall behind with really little prio in this game with the draft they had. And from behind, when your engage is Xin Zhao with Yuumi and hoping for the best, or perhaps a crazy Scion flank, that at this lead, at this deficit for Dplus, there just isn't a whole lot of agency for you with this composition, and you're hoping this game goes 40 minutes plus if you're going to have any chance of getting back in. And this isn't even the cleanest start here for BNK in this fight. Raptor is so far away. Vicla has to flash, and they have the Scion coming through. But it's not an even game state. Lucid loses most of his health here, and Smash has to play aggressively to get anything done. That's a numbers game they just simply aren't going to win. Like, he's just hitting a Xin Zhao here. The rest of the team can group up, and Diable, his health is low, but he's got such high range that he can follow up so easily to shoves like this from Vicla. The lead is just too much.
The Soul. I mean, the game is essentially over at this point with the 9,000 gold lead for BNK and the comp they have, but as you mentioned, maybe if we go another 15 minutes, we could make something of it, but instead it's just going to be Shiu going down.
Shiu trying to make a big play, but sadly will just come up empty-handed. I think they know, they have been playing as if,
you know, the dregs of the Rebel Baron power play come in, they're going to utilize as much of that as possible to try to hit this turret. As Lucid is going to go, stacks up the Q. Vicla just flashes away. The Raptor goes very hardcore into that backline, immediately just dies. But look at Clear bouncing in the backline, takes them out. As BNK FEARX, no fear, they dive the turrets and they get a lot out of it. They didn't necessarily have to do that, but you know what? They're going to get the tower for their troubles.
Yeah, when Shiu falls here, they should be able to actually chip away and take out this inhibitor as well, which would be the third and final, which would guarantee that dragon is all. But, I mean, I cannot even imagine a world where if BNK took their hands off the keyboard, Dplus could get the dragon with 3 inhibitors down. They don't need to end here, but that is enough. And yes, the execution of that could have been a lot cleaner from BNK. They could have been a lot more patient. They could have waited for an additional wave. As it's heroics from Dplus. Like, we could be honest about that. The situation here is very aggressive from Lucid. BNK played this slow, then they put a lot of damage into Lucid. He actually gets so much value here because of it, and Showmaker goes low, and then everyone's just deciding, okay, we got to all in on Showmaker. Showmaker just has a great flash here, grabs the kill. The crowd goes wild when Showmaker survives here.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's not really going to be enough to turn the tides as Dplus.
And Lucid's already half health. This is what I was talking about. Like, you have this Yumi, but you're dealing with so many fed poke champions. Showmaker dodges everything. As now, Shiu gonna go in and send it one last time. But Raptor surviving, gets in. Flag and drags into the backline. Lucid creates a lot of space. The GA is popped, but I just think the wallets are too heavy at this point in the game. As down will go Showmaker tries to make the play, and he does scoop up one, but that's only Vicla, and your Nexus is exposed. BNK looking like the much stronger team here in game number 1, and they want to send a message as well with the last minutes of gameplay as they're trying to take all of them out, but they'll just take down the Nexus and move ahead in the series 1-0.
127. The problem is Seraphine's just kind of looking at everyone running towards you in those types of choke points and those types of narrow engages that you're looking for, and she loves that.
Yeah.
That's where she thrives. A pillar is looking at that the same way. Oh, you're all trying to funnel to this one choke point to set up a really nice combo. It's really difficult for Career and Smash to really make a play here. They cannot even enter.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they kind of want to do something, but it's just a smite on the dragon. We got an ult down on a Vicla, as immediately Showmaker is forcing Vicla out of this one. Flash comes forward, and down will go Vicla. Just like that, Showmaker warping the game around his Yone.
Just like he did in game 1. And it's a very similar situation where Vicla uses his flash late after his demise is almost certain, as Raptor's trying to come over, but
He's ahead in gold. He's tied up the CS, essentially, and having that Ryze power is going to be significantly delayed, and the Yone can do stuff, as we do have some pressure in top lane. Clear gonna zigzag back and forth, even flashes away. Career kind of reconsidering it, but is gonna go in with the flash and the dredge line, and he does not miss those, and will pick up the kill here for Shiu.
Huge win for Career, playing so confidently on this Nautilus pick again by the bottom duo. Like you mentioned, the TP is there for Smash. He's going to use it to come straight back to lane, so he can push this wave in now.
Hextech again.
It is Hextech again. Now Diable has to make a tough call. Does he want to back here with low mana or stay? If he backs, he's going to lose so much on this turret as Raptor's coming in looking for a play.
Here we got the collapse coming on in. Subjugate not utilized on time, and he flashes away and just dies to Lucid.
Vicla is overcommitting as well.
Yeah, should be able to get this kill though. We'll see what happens after that. He will flash the wall and get away.
All right, I spoke too soon on that one. His flash is going to be good over the fat wall there to escape.
Better League of Legends here in game number 2, especially compared to the first game we had. And this Ass Seraphine, yes, they're ahead, but not that far ahead. Not as far ahead as you would expect, as we have a committal here, and Career's just kind of getting left out to dry, as Showmaker's like, sorry, buddy, way more than I expected in this fight, and I'm just going to ult this wall and get away.
That should be significant pressure here in the bottom lane, though. Showmaker's not out yet.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. He is going to have to flash.
So he has the flash, his back is interrupted, he cannot farm this wave, the plates are going to get taken out here. Lucid's coming down with his ult coming down as well, but Showmaker doesn't have his own. And Showmaker's hesitating to back, but I think he doesn't want to give this turret, but I'm not sure if he can make something of this, as Kellen's a bit isolated.
Yeah, Kellen backing on a control ward, not the safest place to back there, and he just dies. I don't really... I mean, they felt like they had a lot of control over that push, I think, and that they could just back wherever they wanted, but...
Dplus are going to have this Herald, and I said this is going to be our first real major fight. But without ultimates here for BNK, they may just simply let it go. They're in the in position, but without the ults, it's difficult to actually fight. As speaking of no ults, Showmaker comes up in 10.
Yeah, Greer in a lot of trouble here. Subjugate is down onto him, and Clear has the inside track. Raptor just gonna pick up that kill, and DK have to abandon the pit for now. Although it does look like with the Ziggs coming up and a TP channeled from Showmaker, they want to get in. The smite is good from Raptor, but now the turn comes down, and immediately Chiyu is just dead. Lucid as well being kited out very nicely. Raptor gonna put down the Rift Herald as well. They're considering for sure if they want to continue on this one, but
I think he should be able to drift into the mid lane here.
Yep.
If they tried to stay, he would have been able to disrupt the follow-up fight, but now he's just gonna get this guaranteed crash. The punish is so difficult. We'll see, Showmaker has ult.
I mean, he's in a little bit of trouble. Really did not want to flash there. Looks like it just barely came up right now, but he's not gonna have to use it.
And just like that though, I mean, simply put, just like that, the lead is gone for Dplus.
And we seem to be very back and forth. It does feel like BNK, coming back in this game is looking really good for them with the Ryze and the Ashe on their team. A nice amount of scaling there. But DK, I mean, that was their opportunity to make this game theirs, but not quite, as we're going to have a fight underneath this one. Diable just gets blown to smithereens.
Well, the Dragon.
Drake does go over to the Trundle, and Raptor's not done yet, as Lucid in a lot of trouble himself, and will be chased down. And DK are going in 1-by-1, but the damage is insane. They go all in onto the Renekton, as Clear is going to have to pay for their sins, whereas the rest of BNK still on the run. We have DK on the chase here. They're looking to hide on Bush and maybe get that going, but they knew they were in the charm. But the charm goes down onto Showmaker, and it's 2 for BNK. And hiding on Bush, the best strategy you can have.
Now, Faker may not be here in Hong Kong, but his legacy still remains. As in this moment, DK have no choice but to follow. They cannot just simply give this Drake up and let them get out. It's 3 kills the opportunity. But unfortunately, and Smash forced to flash here. May still be dead.
I think he's just dead. Nowhere for him to go. Vicla is unstoppable. 5-1 on the Ryze. He's 2,000 gold plus ahead of his opponent.
And in this fight, he's the one who does the majority of the damage, as Diable is collapsed on here. So much is used to kill the AD carry. And the Renekton, who shows up mid-fight here with tons of fury and is in the backline, is just so incredibly difficult to kill. And even though Vicla's on low health, he is just pumping damage constantly. And then here the call is made. Look at the ult for the Seraphine. Kellen gets it at this exact moment. They make the call to hide and look for the turn. They pick up the final kills there. And that may have been the back-breaking moment. And this is just insult to injury. A Smash gets over the wall, but still gets rune prisoned.
The stacks on, the Rod of Ages. They're just going to go for this in 20 minutes.
Both of their soul laners in bottom lane have TP.
Yeah, it's on Vision. I mean, they saw this happening. And TP's going to be used, only one of them, notably. Well, so they use one, and that stops them from taking the... Well, I say that.
Chiyu does commit his anyways.
Yeah. And now we're going to have the Dredge line in onto the Trundle. The arrow hits nobody, and Showmaker goes super deep for tons of damage, but now out of position, has to flash. Smash doesn't have his, and he will get smashed down the bottom lane, and DK is gone. And BNK will get something for their troubles.
I mean, at the end of the day, these are the types of problems we raised when we were looking at these compositions. How difficult it is for Dplus to be the ones to come to the play and make that aggressive move when they're so heavily melee. It's very challenging, and even the Aurora, who isn't melee, has to do so much upfront burst at low range to be relevant in these fights. And she went Leandri's, so the burst is not as strong as it otherwise could be in this game. So, watch this fight break out. Dplus are challenging for position. Career goes in initially. But how do you actually fight this from here? Showmaker has to go in alone. Where's the follow-up damage? There just isn't any. I think Showmaker should have played this slower. Kellen, also, by the way, incredibly patient in this fight. Just waits, holds his ultimate. He's like, I'm just going to make sure and this Trundle has a frozen heart.
Yeah, I think from ahead, this comp is just so oppressive. And Chiyu, standing on Vision, doesn't know it. And gets caught in a really rough spot. I mean, that's the worst timing as well. We just realm warp into the Baron Pit, they say.
The Vision game has been insane for BNK this series. They have wards everywhere. They're always watching you.
Their Baron damage is really strong. Even the Trundle and the Ashe Ryze goes without saying. You see Lucid, he's going to have to go for it. He's going to have to pull out the big smites just like he did against Owner. Flashes into the pit. Tons of burst damage does come down as they try to go deep for Diable, but Diable stays alive. And they do get the kill on a clear, though. BNK not in the best of spots. Smash kind of ruling the Rift right now against all these low health bars is going to push them off the objective.
So it ends up being a trade here. Trade up for BNK with a kill on Shiu, but
Dragon
on the cards for Dplus, and they end up getting them off the map. So there's just so much extra tempo that's now gained here by Dplus. As a division game, I mentioned, look at the whole map, what's happening. I guess we know what happened to Shiu, but the vision, like every entrance to every river, there's a ward on it. BNK find their opportunities. Now, this does not end up being the highest value ultimate here from Kellen. Only hits the Nautilus. And this means that Lucid is completely uncontested as it goes on to Diable. And Diable's health bar being low is the biggest problem here. Is Clear tried to trade his life bar to then give him the opportunity to clean up the fight, but he was too low to do so. And the Dragon is not taken by Dplus. They were unable to do so, and now
they're going so aggressively to try to start these fights. I feel like it's BNK. You've got to let DK come to you instead. They're just running into the jungle. Vicla's going to go down. And immediately Showmaker picks up a huge shutdown.
I mean, they don't have their critical tools in this fight. They don't have the off.
Lucid is spotted. He's just going to go right on in because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. And that's going to be the 6. Just blown up like that. And the Ryze incredibly strong right now. And that is what Vicla is capable of on this pick when he is very fed. Is now going to go on in. The stun on the Showmaker, though, and that means he misses entirely, trying to be the hero. Meanwhile, Shiu trying to 1v1 Vicla. I don't know about that one, buddy, as the map is falling apart for DK, and maybe now BNK can take the Baron.
It looks likely. There's just no one to stop them. And I'm not sold on that Lucid flank there, because you're playing into this comp. You need to be able to get, like, if you can set this up where Smash is there and you can satchel somebody or Career's a little bit closer, then I'm kind of on the same page with you. But in this case, he just goes in disconnected from the rest of his team. Vicla says no to Smash. You cannot join. You're not going to be a factor here. And just like that, BNK look at Lucid the same way I am, kind of going, what was your plan here? And then this stun ruined Showmaker's setup, and Diable just sidesteps. But even if he gets the kill here, don't know how much it really turns the tides of this game. At least it might have slowed the Baron that is almost certainly already smote in live. Yeah. 3 parts of this in the 1-1-3, so to speak, here with a 3-man in bottom lane.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, he's desperately trying to clear the cannons, and instead he cleared his own health bar. So, yeah, maybe they're trying to collapse here on the bottom side, but everything is seen.
The vision game, again, for BNK is just, they're doing their due diligence everywhere. They leave no stone unturned, and so this Wukong flank is just caught out immediately. Now they're looking for a TP flank. That's out of vision.
Yeah, Griot's getting burst down in the front part of this fight as they are going to get the flash out of Diable, and immediately Showmaker just dies as maybe they take out the Ash, as Shiu does get on the flank here. And now Vicla is underneath the turret, does an insane amount of damage to Smash, and maybe he is the one that can break open the space. Down will go the Renekton. They're still chasing under the turret. Guys, you're going too aggressive. I know your team is BNK FEARX and you don't have fear, but come on, guys. You didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to. I don't know if it really matters that much, though.
Just like game 1.
And in this moment, Diable's flash feels like it's the last potentially tense moment in this game where they want to follow up. He flashes this, it's done. He doesn't get caught by Showmaker. There's no follow-up anyways. And Vicla, yes, he roam warps into practically the fountain in this one, but he has Zhonya's. It doesn't matter. Clear is so big that even though Smash dies, he absorbed everything, did so much damage with Vicla anyways, and this is just a comedy. As Lucid, again, he's the main character here in terms of setup engagement. They're just going to jump over the pit wall and start the Baron. They have so much
vision. Look at this damage. I mean, it's already like half gone. And Lucid's like, well, maybe I can get, no, I can't get past the Renekton. There's the root, there's the Baron. Goes over to BNK.
And they passed the patience test I was talking about. They played it well, they played it great.
There are a lot of flank wards, actually, in mid. So got to be careful about that, but and also that, don't run straight into the Ziggs bomb, but you can still siege until the Dragon comes up and then try to get Hextech Soul and win the game off of that. That should be the safest way to lock this one down. And for Dplus KIA, I mean, again, you're going to have to rely on flanks. I would imagine with the TPs coming in, they have a lot of flank wards, even on the bottom side of the map. And besides that, I don't really see a good angle. Vicla gonna take a bunch of damage, but runs straight up to the soul and says, I will take you down. flashes in and takes him out. Showmaker no longer on the Rift, as in will go Raptor. Lucid getting bullied away, and these two inhibitors will fall, and maybe the third to follow as well. Maybe they say, well, we don't even need to play around the Dragon. We can just end this game right here.
They have so many Baron up cannon minions. It's just an insane siege as Clear can buy so much space, and I think BNK are going up to match point here, Valdez. A very dominant start to the series.
Looking fantastic so far in the first couple of wins. Not very close in these two games, as maybe they get Raptor, but they will not get the game. It's 2-0. That does go to BNK FEARX, as they wanted
a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, you got the Nocturne as well.
The Syndra, though.
But instead,
this is what I thought Showmaker would do had he chosen this pick instead of the Cassante. A little bit surprised to see the tables turn on this one, because this feels highly unnecessary for the draft here of BNK. Because
have an advantage against the Jax, but eventually the Jax will become a problem, as Lucid, going through his own jungle, doesn't know that Raptor is here. And we don't know exactly where he is either. Just kind of go for the wolves, maybe? Okay, well, Lucid coming on in, going for an early gank, and Kellen just dies. First blood given over to Career, but it's still a kill. It's now Raptor gonna try to get out of there, but yeah, not in a great spot himself. Flashes forward to try to get closer, and Raptor gonna have to flash himself. Does spell shield the sleep, and he will be okay. From time to time, I don't think he should take it too personally from the first couple of games, but they need him to be playing good League of Legends. As Kellen, speaking of which, he's going to have to flash away. Career flashes forward as well, and Diable now is like, I've got an opportunity here, as barriers are going to be traded.
yeah, Kellen gets his heal back online, so that's a little bit of extra health as they get the slow.
Slurkle comes in. Career in a lot of trouble. No sums. Couple more autos could do it. Flash forward, and Diable, seeing blood in the water, picks up a kill for himself.
The Yunara damage output is just so insane. They almost had enough.
And as Slurkle comes down, you can see that Raptor's just itching. He wants to press it, and in he goes. In onto the Nami, and Career's like, what do I even do? I was playing carefully, as now Lucid gonna come in. They try to take down Raptor, but Raptor is so tanky, and Diable just runs him down. And even gonna push Smash back just a little bit for good measure, and wins the trade in a big way. Now we have Burst coming in. Showmaker wants to punish Vicla here, as the Q comes down, and Showmaker doesn't quite have the pressure. Kellen getting in. He wants to kill, but it goes over to Raptor instead, and Smash will follow eventually. Really, the only question is who picks this one up as the Q comes down, and actually, he does get away.
He's going to live here because they just ran out of buttons. Everyone's too low. He could pick up a triple if they wanted to push, push it further or ask the question. As Career still doesn't have level 6, or he'd love to toss it in.
No, Career, not like this. He's going to have to flash, and man, the dominoes, they're not even falling one by one. It's like the entire stack of them just got flattened.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but it looked like he was on a ward. He's going to show up again right now, so they know where he is.
Yeah, and now they're just going to try to turn this onto the Corki. You see that the Fear comes down, but they got to deal with the Pantheon. Lucid doing a good job of frontlining. Flash comes forward as Showmaker wants to make the play, but Lucid goes down. As that will be the kill over to Raptor. Now the chase is on onto Career. Flash forward, it's not going to connect. And now Vicla being burst away. The Unleashed power comes in though. As, oh no, Diable oversteps. Not the first time, but that is massive for the side of DK. Vicla trying to get out. It looks like he barely will be able to.
Has the shield, gets the scatter, and he gets away. Very, very close turnaround there for Dplus, as things could have been much worse. And Vicla says, I want to continue to make that the case. Wants to lurk here and find Smash.
I think
he was on a ward.
Okay, well.
And Valdez,
DK are back
that
in the
vision
game.
toggle was, yeah, it was Vicla's. He did not know he was on a ward. And so going back to this initial play, at this moment, Diablo's like, okay, this is so free. Polymorph goes down, they cannot lock me up. He gets stunned, but the fight is already, like, basically in his hands. He's like, this is done. And there's just no way to lock him down anymore unless Showmaker hits a bubble, right? And Diable chases forward here. Tidal Wave buys some space. And then at this moment, Vicla's alone, running forward. And then Diablo's like, I guess I'll clean up your mess. So then he goes in alone and gets caught. It's just a bit sloppy here from BNK. Not really two ways about it. Dplus like, thanks for the freebie.
Showmaker just dies. And this is right before the Infernal Drake. Clear is being bopped a little bit. And actually, the Infernal does go over to DK. So they were on it, and Showmaker tried to rotate over, it looks like, and just kind of dies. So
unfortunately, it was a lot of errors from Career there on the bottom side. Now this is just Showmaker Lisa trying to rotate in. There was a control ward when that brushed, so Showmaker didn't know exactly where anybody was. And Clear's just like, sorry, man.
I love that that happens to Showmaker. Just one of the most Cassante moments we've had in a while, and it happens to the guy who made the meme. Yeah, Showmaker not going to enjoy that too much, but this is pretty massive for DK, as you mentioned. 2 Dragons. They've caught up in essentially every facet. And Vicla, once again, this time he's just going to face check, and guess who's here? It is indeed Lucid. Somehow Career gets that kill, as now they're going for the kill. Up on the top side, looks like, once again, Showmaker will meet his arch nemesis, as Clear picks up another kill and gets him down. Xiu is going in, but that is Yunara.
And the lane
gonna force him to ult away.
Here, a little bit awkward for DK. Like, they have Smash in the bottom lane with the Pantheon, so he's relatively free to farm, but I don't know if he needs to be here right now as the Jax is dealing with the Yunara, so not having a great time!
Xiu, no! What's going on here?
And so the Corki is backing,
mid,
and he just dies in the mid lane to the Yunara. Like I was saying, this is not where the Jax wants to be. The Jax wants to be dealing with the Cassante, where you can counter-strike and buy space, not where Showmaker is, who ends up getting caught there on the top side and burst down. And Dplus is macro. Falling apart a little bit here in this mid game, and now the Herald is up for grabs.
Yeah, it just looks like they're falling apart a little bit at the seams. And now the Herald's up here, and now we got the stun down on a Lucid. Tons goes into him, and Clear has the flank once again. 2 kills, the Herald, and Smash alone just trying to get away. And BNK, the rocket has really taken off here.
It really is. 3 grubs already theirs. Herald in their possession. And it's moments like this, again, where we have to question why are the lanes set this way.
Oh, no.
Which is just some greed there on the bottom side for Corki, ended up being in an awkward spot coming back. Xiu has to clean up the mess. The wild growth is incredibly powerful, obviously, in this type of situation. And over here, like, Vicla just ends up getting the massive one, right? Like, he ends up getting the double here. Diable is set up. And there's just, like, the contest of this didn't even really makes sense.
And the bubble is going to sail wide, and Smash once again tries to step up to Diable. The bubble, though, is gigantic. As we do see the follow-up tidal wave, though, it's going to keep him at bay, and just that. As Diable is just so powerful right now. We do see Lucid is here, and the flash!
Diable baits him! He baits him!
Oh, he's just styling all over DK right now, and Showmaker once again has to deal with these 2. Once again dies to the Cassante. As we definitely know he is a big part of it. It looks like this first Mountain Drake should be going over to the side of BNK. Channeling a back here is Cassante. Just gonna find Xiu, who's like, well, what's going on here in this bush? I've got a counter-strike that's not gonna do all too much against the Syndra. There's a lot of damage, a massive stun comes down, but the health bars are pretty low. Looking to engage now, Showmaker desperate for something, and Lucid just blown up immediately. And you see that the rest of the DK is just running away. In goes Raptor, flashes out there as the sleep comes in, but the damage is enough as Kellen says, I will collect the kill. And he does exactly that. BNK now 5,000 gold ahead, Wolf.
The first pick Pantheon is 0 and 4. And it looked like a balloon dashing to a needle in that last moment. Just cannot hold a candle to BNK here in this best of 5 today.
BNK looking insane tonight, and now they're looking for Xiu as well, and they will pick up that kill. A bunch does go into Clear, but he is the tank. And so at the end of the day, he will brush it off and not really care all too much. But it's just another kill, another turret going the way of BNK. And they're just, there's no big objectives. I guess they could go for Baron, but
not the fastest Baron, and they don't have a ton of control, so they're going to play a little bit more patiently as Diable has Flash.
Yeah, he is just not going to use it until the very end here, but Flash has come in from Lucid, and now Clear shows up, and he says, get away from my 80 carry. And Diable is still alive, finally. We do see the spear come in, and Clear a little bit out of position. Now he's being burst, but he is going forward in BNK fashion, has the wild growth, and they say, no Yunara, no problem. And they will be able to take down Smash and eliminate the second 80 carry from this fight. Because now Xiu's like, huh, maybe I can do it. No, he's just going to get stunned up. So we do see Raptor going on in. And I think they got to get out of here. Stat, although we are going to see Xiu going in, does land the double stun. And now Showmaker trying to get something done as Unstoppable will go Clear. And finally, Vicla is going to show up to this one. And Xiu finally does get that kill on a Raptor, but eventually will bite the dust. As now we have the bubble coming in. Showmaker trying his best to make something of this series, but he's just going to get polymorphed and trying to follow up here. He's going to pick up a flash, but not quite able to land too much more.
Yeah, the blast cone's going to help build more space here, but I think that scrappy fight that didn't need to be that scrappy. The lead here for BNK, though, is so big that I just don't know if it matters that Dplus get these small victories in these longer exchanges.
Yeah, it's not enough, as you mentioned. Now we're going all out under the turn, and guess who's back? Back again. It is Nocturne to bring you the nightmares to any side laner, as Diable's just in it. I don't really know how he got here, but he is ready to fight, as he always is. Diable picks up the kill and has the Mikhails right there. Meanwhile, we see Smash and Career trying to push away the Cassante, but like, they're losing so much, man. BNK are just owning all of the games today.
Yeah, and this is, I think, in part due to draft. Something we haven't talked about that much. Funneling your 80 carries goal, winning bottom lane, playing that 3v3 better. But draft has played a major part, I think, in so many of our playoff series, including BNK's win over T1, Dplus's win over T1, and now Dplus's loss. It looks like very likely here to BNK.
Oh,
no vision,
no
nothing.
idea. Showmaker might just die here. The power comes in, and he is just hiding in the jungle. And no longer will Zoe be alive for this Baron. Career as well might be in some trouble. Bubble does go down on a Vicla, but even the Wild Growth is there trying to save Vicla. He's running away from everybody, and nobody can deal with him. Career goes down and clears behind enemy lines. BNK truly are off the rails now, as Vicla is back, decides to die.
10,000 gold the lead here means that Vicla, the worst thing is you might get a stern talking to after this game, but I just don't know if it is really going to matter here, as Dplus barely hanging on in this game and to win. And
yeah, I don't know.
Diable's making a statement.
Sometimes the most unexpected result is the one that happens. Diable is getting chunked out a little bit. Raptor getting flanked. He has to go forward. Doesn't really have any help from his team, though, although on the bottom side of this one, Lucid getting shredded by this gigantic Yunara, as Diable is just running straight into them, does not care at all. The flash forward from Kellen to save him, and Diable can do whatever he wants tonight. And he will do exactly that. Has the backing of his team, and he knew it. Splashes into 4 people and does not get punished.
He just typed /God mode in the chat. And that's exactly what happened, as his teammates give him all the resources. Smash here, looking for something.
Yeah, and they're stopping the back at the same time. Career's just dead, that's fine. But like, they stop Smash from getting back so that this push can happen in mid.
That's an inhibitor down, and there's no angle.
No. Okay.
That's a very appropriate emote for the situation.
Nice. For the whole series.
This is just such a train wreck. And for BNK, there are no rules anymore. There is nothing you can do wrong. You cannot throw this game even if you tried, with the lead they have, the global they have, the 80 carry they have. Vicla is gonna look for an angle.
Well, it's looking like death number 7 for the most popular guy in the arena, as we've mentioned many times, but he was not able to put up the performance to back it up, as now the damage goes in on the Smash, and that is Vicla's job. Just do just that, and Smash does not get to play the game. Doesn't matter if he dies or not. Smash 4-1, he's like, well, I guess this just wasn't our LCK Cup. We got the win on to T1, and that was a little bit too much, I suppose. And BNK, I mean, at least because this one is so one-sided, now I have hope that maybe BNK can do something tomorrow. Because before this, I was like, well, just give Genji the trophy. You know, the classic saying. But BNK looking amazing tonight, and DK have had no chance.
Certainly not really any ins in this series, as it's just an everything gap between these squads. A Showmaker trying his best to make something of this. The bubble. All
right, there it is, the bubble, but everything is thrown into Diable to keep him alive, and even Showmaker trying, but does no damage. Another sleep bubble does come in at least, and that's about all they're gonna get. The knockback comes back on a Lucid, he gets stunned, and Diable looking for more, as Clear is going to pick up another kill and deny him any streak there. But the game is over, and BNK are just playing with their food. But they have done what they came here to do tonight, and that is to book their ticket to the Grand Final. Down goes Diable. He does not care. BNK 3-0.